another video. So if you guys do not know yet, I'm going to be uploading every Tuesday with a update on where my business is and what I'm doing currently at the moment in order to progress my business. And this is part of my Build a Brand series where you guys are going to be coming with me step by step and building a brand with me so you can see every part of what I'm doing. And also really just tag along so you can understand each part and so you're not left out and confused. So this next part that we're going to cover is going over these Facebook ads. So I'm going to make this video a little bit longer than usual because I want you guys to really understand that when you guys are doing Facebook ads, the most important thing that you're going to be doing is testing. And if you're not willing to spend money and even lose money testing, then you're not going to be able to win in the long run, because the only way that people test is or that people succeed is by testing as many creatives, as many interests as they can to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Hold on, let me cut down. It's a little too bright. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is my ad account that I'm using currently for Germany, and if you guys do not know, when you're creating an ad account, you can also create pixels, and pixels, what they are is there's these little lines of code or this Facebook pixel number that you can put into your Shopify store, and once you put it in there, the Facebook will then track clicks, page views, um, initiate checkouts, add to carts, purchases, all that stuff for you, so that you can track that in your Facebook ads and know what works and what doesn't. So the first thing that we're going to cover is my testing phase. So getting started, what I decided to do was to create 5 ad creatives. Now, when you have these creatives, what you guys need to do is you can create them yourself, or you can also get someone on Fiverr to do it for you. So what you can do, you can go on Fiverr, just look up Shopify video ad creator. Just make sure that you look at the reviews, make sure their videos are good. Or you can go on Upwork as well, it doesn't really matter, but just make sure you have decent videos. Make sure that, you keep the theme the same. If your store colors are blue and black, make sure the text and the lettering, like all the lettering and everything in the video, your logo and stuff is all the same. Keep it consistent with what's on your website, and just try and create at least 3 to 5 ad creatives, because you're going to be testing all these at the same time to figure out which one works, and then at the end you're going to be figuring out what a couple of them I can use. You need to ask yourself, which ones can I use in the future for me to really double down on in order to start making profits. So first thing that we're gonna do, let me see here on which one that I'm trying to see which one I used first. So I believe it was this one. So this is what I used first, and this is when I decided to launch my Facebook ads. So or not my Facebook ads, my 3 different ad creatives. So when you launch these, um, you need to create 3 different ads, and not to where you're creating 3 different ads in one ad set. So when you go into an ad set, you can create as many ads as you want, but an ad set is different from the individual ad. So having ad sets is just like it says. It means ad set. So you have a set of ads. So just try not to confuse that, guys. What we need to do is, I'm going to go back here. I don't know why I was doing that, but alright, so that was actually my mistake campaign, because from what I've learned is that it's better to create ad sets like let's say you have three ad creatives. They say it's better to test three ad sets with a different budget. Well, not a different budget, with the same budget. So we'll have three different ad sets. And then what we'll do is we'll set each ad set for a certain budget. So we'll have, we'll set them off for $18 and then let them run, as opposed to having one ad set and then having, three different ad creatives in it, if you know what I mean. That way each ad set that we create gets a equal amount of spending so that we can know exactly what's working and what's not working. So if we go ahead and look at the three different ads that I decided to use, I didn't get any creatives or any conversions with them. However, when you guys are testing your ads, you want to make sure you are testing within a pay PPE or pay per engagement campaign. That way you can figure out which ones are working better than the other, and do not expect to get sales with these because these are specifically made to see which one gets the better engagement, which is what you want in the long run. In the long run, when we start running our conversion campaigns. So as you can see here, when you spend around $10 or so per campaign, you start to understand which ones are working and which ones are not. Like, you don't have to do what I did and spend $18. Of course, the more money you spend, the more accurate data you're going to receive. But to be honest with you, after $10 or so, you're going to start to understand which ones are working. So I saw that within the $10 range, this one was receiving the most link clicks. Um, and then you can also look at the click-through rates. So what you guys need to do before you even decide to run ads is to set up your columns, because these are going to be showing you, your link clicks, conversions, all that stuff. So if I'm going to show you guys this here, because this is very important. And like, if you join Facebook groups and stuff, I'm probably going to create one in the future. But if you create them, if I create them, you're going to learn a lot about different abbreviations and what they mean, like ROAS and CPMs and all that stuff, because it's very important to track all those, because that's really is going to be the determining factor on whether or not you need to cut off an ad. So if you look here, I created my own custom column, which is under Shopify. And if I scroll here, you can see all these different columns that I added. So website purchase ROAS, the click-through rate, the amount of link clicks, purchases, video views 95%, video watches at 75%, adds to cart, initiate checkouts. All these are very, very important for you to track, because if you don't, like I said, you're not going to be getting accurate data on whether or not you should cut off an ad or not, because when you start a ad account, they don't give you all this information, so you have to add those columns yourself. So as you can see, what I did was, the first thing when I corrected myself and had three different ad sets with budgets, I went ahead and I decided that this one was a winning ad creative. So, and I believe, yeah, I had the best click-through rate. So click-through rate is, this is basically, to put it in simple terms, it's uh, how often people are clicking on your ad. So let's say one out of I don't know, let's say 1 out of 100 are clicking on your ad. Of people that encounter your ad, that's a 1% click-through rate. I don't, I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate or an accurate analogy, but that's just the gist of it. So, and as you can see, these are really bad click-through rates. On average, people say have at least a 1% click-through rate. So this one wasn't doing that well, but it was enough to where I knew that I can start spending more money towards this ad to create a lookalike audience for for a for whoever's viewing my ad. So so ad creative 3, I decided, since it was doing the best after I spent the $10, I started spending more towards it, I believe. I think I did that in a different campaign. I can't remember, but once you start spending more money towards it, you need to start, like, you're doing this because you need to build data. So because you're going to create a 95% video view audience and then create a lookalike off of that. So as you can see, I got a decent amount of 95% uh, video viewers. Now it's kind of weird, it's kind of off here, but that's what you want to do. Whatever ad is getting you the most data and whatever one is getting the most engagement, create a lookalike audience for it. So I did that. All you have to do to create a lookalike audience, you just go to Ads Manager and then you click on Audiences, and you can select the specific video ad that you were using or upload it onto Facebook, and then you create a 95% video view on that. Now, the threshold that you guys want to do for these video views, make sure it's at least 2,000. Now, I waited till 5,000 because uh, the more data that you have, the more you have to work with, the better um, your output's going to be, because you're getting more data you're giving more data to Facebook to use in order to figure out what your target audience is. So I waited for this to be around 2 to 5,000, I believe. I think it was in a different campaign because this one doesn't have that much spending in it, and I think I started a new one for some reason. But let's go ahead and go to the next one. But yeah, once you create that, yeah, figure out, spend at least $10 on that campaign as well. Um, and also you can use different ad creatives in that one. Don't, because some audiences, they'll respond differently to certain ad. That's why you got to test. And I've spent over $1,200 on this ad account alone just testing out this product. And of course I've made sales here. I've made, I think, at least 20 sales or so. Um, Let me see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Yeah, so I've made around 20 sales, and it was profitable at the beginning, but over time, um, my ads honestly weren't like great. That's why I decided to move to the branding side and to create my own ads instead of just taking other people's and combining and doing the cut and band-aid method, which people talk about. But next thing I believe I was doing on what you want to do next is start to test different interests. So uh, when you're testing interests and when you do your 95% lookalike audience thing, actually, let me go back here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Oh yeah, I got sales on those, but we're going to talk about that here in a second. Um, So yeah, actually it was ad 5. So yeah, I had to test 5 different ads before I figured out which one was actually doing decently well. And when you're creating your audiences, they're going to ask you to, you can choose the different percentages. So the closer the percentages are to 1 when you're choosing your audiences, for when you're creating your lookalike audience, the closer your targeting is going to be for the people that you want to target. So if you target anywhere from 6 to 10%, that's going to be more farther away from your target audience. So it's not going to be as accurate, but the audiences might be bigger. Um, and that might be the reason, because it's not as targeted as these 1 to 6 or 1 to 3% target audiences for these lookalikes. So as you can see, let's see here, I spent $53.90 for one purchase, and I was selling the product for like $40, um, which is, that's bad. I'm negative at that point. So when you're past your break even point, I believe my break even point was I don't know, it was, I'm trying to think. I think it was like 20 something dollars, $23, somewhere around there. And then my ROAS was like 1.6 something. So ROAS, if you guys don't know, you're taking I believe it's your your selling cost minus the product cost, so what you pay for from on AliExpress, divided by the selling cost, I believe. So that's your purchase ROAS, or your break even ROAS. So if anything goes below that point, so you see the ROAS here. See the ROAS, it went way below my break even point, which was like 1.6. Um, that's when you want to cut it off, because you're losing money at that point. So especially if you're spending, I spent way too much. I should have cut this one off earlier, because I literally didn't even think about this, I wound up paying more than I should have. So, and as you can see for these other ones, I spent $14, $14. Didn't get that many clicks, but I probably should have spent a little bit more to test these out, which is probably what I'm going to do in the future because to me, this one did pretty well. This one had a decent amount of link clicks for the amount spent. Um, but yeah, that's something that you guys want to look out for. And also, I'm going to go back here. But like I said, testing is the name of the game. So after I did this, after I tested those different audiences, and I'm letting you guys know now, when I was creating those lookalike audiences, you know, the 1 through 10%, I was also I took those ad sets and then I put in the like the different ads. So like you know, if you had 5 ad creatives, you can put those in there as well to test them out because like I said, not all audiences are responding the same to certain ads, so you just have to keep that in mind. And then we can go ahead here and look at what I did next. So the next thing I did was do a lot of purchase or conversion campaign interest targeting. So what that is if you guys don't know, if you're new to shop or if you're new to Facebook ads, testing on Facebook for broad interests are very profitable. For some reason they are, and some people say they make a lot more money targeting interest than they do on lookalike audiences, which is weird. But at the same time, you can kind of understand it because interests, they have a lot more people within them, demographic wise. So Facebook is given more data to work with. So I feel like uh, they're better at optimizing it for you guys. So as you can see here, these are the amount of interests that I targeted. I targeted a lot of interests. So I had 28 interests. Now, of course, I probably could have tested more, but this really showed me that this product was a winner. So once you guys spend at least, oh wait, I forgot. No, this was my, oh, I was doing that one strategy where you put in a daily budget of like $10 or so. Um, So yeah, this one I got 2 purchases off of. Yeah, I had a I wasn't profitable for this one. Um, yeah, yeah, these weren't very profitable, but as you can see, like down here, I started testing the $1 budget. So if you guys don't know, if you take like one interest and you start targeting the hold on, am I looking at the right? If you take one set like anywhere from 20 to 50 times and set them for $1 budgets, Facebook takes that budget and actually uses it to its advantage, and it won't spend unless it's very detailed targeting because Facebook wants to take your money and use it to the best of its ability. And um, when you give it a dollar to work with, you're forcing it to really go out and find those buyers within that ad spend. So that was one thing that I was doing, and it worked pretty well for a little bit, but over time you start spending more than you want to. So these campaigns here, I'm trying to see which ones was I looking at. It was a purchase. I think this was it. I don't know why I have so many of the. Yeah, but what I was doing, yeah, I was testing a lot of different ad sets. And as you guys can see, I got a decent amount of purchases for some of them, like the Starbucks, physical fitness. Now they weren't profitable, like I said, they dropped below my break-even ROAS, but I was still able to. I was still trying to work with these and duplicate them. Like you still know these ad sets work. It's just that when you're using the same ad creatives over and over, it kind of gets old within the audience, and it's called ad fatigue. Especially if you're trying to target people in Germany. where there's like 32 million people or so in Germany on Facebook when you target that demographic. So when you divide that up into these different interests here, you don't get um, you have to change your ads a little bit more often, because if you don't, people start seeing the same ads over and over, and they'll continue scrolling and not be interested. So as you can see, I spent a lot of money here. I spent $747.92 testing just interest, just plain old interest. Um, interests that are related to your niche. Now, do not be afraid to test interests that are not related to your niche. So, you know, physical fitness, that was kind of related to it, running, kind of related, Starbucks, kind of related, About You, that's like some German company, clean eating, yeah, beauty, not at all, ASOS, I forgot what that was, yoga. I was really surprised this yoga one didn't get any sales. But if you're scrolling, I'm trying to scroll down here. I don't know why these are all set to $1. I think I did that by accident. But you want to spend at least $10 on an interest before you actually decide on whether or not it works. Preferably your break even ROAS. So you just gotta figure out your product costs. But yeah, I was testing a lot of different interests. Like I said, do not be afraid. Like Starbucks, Netflix, stuff like that. Those have got a decent amount of sales from, even from other products that were not even related to it. But I was still able to get sales off of them just because those audiences are so big, and Facebook, for some reason, are able to find buyers, a lot of buyers in it. So we're gonna go back to the ads manager. Now, Facebook did upgrade this ad manager. Well, they didn't really upgrade it. They just changed it a little bit, and I don't really like it that much. But going on to the next thing, so physical fitness and the Starbucks ad creative were the ones that I saw were doing decently well. So I decided, I was like, hey, I think these audiences are winners. So I went ahead and created a CBO campaign, which I got 4 sales from, and they were all from the physical fitness campaign. But I did not reach my break-even ROAS, or I fell below that, so I had to cut this off, or this campaign off, which kind of sucks. For Starbucks, I spent $40, no sales. Um, Man, I spent a lot of money on this one. So yeah, I spent $184, and I got $164.94 back, which is in the negative, so I had to cut this campaign off. However, like I said, guys, if you are getting sales, even though you're losing money or you're breaking even, that's still good. If you're getting sales, period, your product has potential. You know, if you're simply just trying to, you're spending all this money, um, you know, tens or hundreds of dollars, and then even thousands of dollars, and you're not getting any sales, that's a problem. It might not be a problem with your product. It might be a problem with your store, or maybe just your ad creatives, or maybe there's something wrong with your store. Maybe the payments are processing, or you just don't have something set up right. So you have to keep that in mind. And I know my store personally, it looks really good. And our whole goal here is, whether you're selling on the German market or some other market, is that you want to make your store look as clean as possible to make people trusted enough to actually purchase from it. Whether you're adding, a decent amount of reviews, or you're just making it look as simple as possible. So, yeah, I really shut off my ads at this point after I spent a lot on CBO, because I was really my I was spending a lot of money, and that I was, using the Band-Aid method, and throwing ads together, not using my own ads, and really connecting the audience to my brand. So at this point, and then I was also running social proof campaign, targeting worldwide, getting engagement on your onto your posts, so that adds more social proof. And let me see here. yeah. Um, the last thing that I want to show you guys is our whole goal here is to, like I said, make a one product store, make our brand as connected to the audience as possible. So if you look at brands like Hey Silky Skin, um, it's like this. This is certain goals. Now, your website does not have to look, just like this or even better than this. It can look, much worse than this. But our whole goal here is to make it look as clean as possible and as good as possible. So we have a store like this. Like I said, it does not have to be this good looking. You don't have to now that if that's within your budget, if that's within your will, then 100% go for a store that looks like this. It's simple. Have all these tabs here or here, and then you have 90-day money back guarantee. Or you can think of other stores. I know Flex Posture is a good one. And your store, obviously this store does not look as good as this one. However, this store made a crap ton of money. It made millions of dollars, and it's not that it's still a good looking store. It's simple, but it looked good enough and clean enough to where people actually trusted it and were buying off of it. So simplicity nowadays is the main thing. Don't try and make your store look really complex. Don't add trust badges. Don't add those moving or those wiggling add to cart or buy now buttons or timers or um, even the inventory thing where you say, oh well, we have 200 left in inventory, buyers now before we run out. Don't add all that stuff. You want to make your store look as clean as possible. Like if you fell on this website and you were like, okay, I want to buy this product, and you go straight to their sales page, you can see how clean it is. Like it talks about the product here, gives the reviews. You can choose a color, add to cart, and that's it. Like literally, there's a small description here, and they just have all the reviews and stuff, and it's as simple as that. And this converts. People buy off this site, and the seller makes a lot of money. So that's just something you're going to keep in mind. Um, Apart from doing your Facebook ads, because Facebook ads are, man, if you're not willing to test and get and willing to continue after spending 1,000 to maybe even a couple $1,000s on Facebook ads for one product, then you're really not going to make it anywhere. Because like some people say that you can get into this with just like $200 or so, which I mean you can, but you're really cutting it, especially if you're trying to target just the United States or one of these markets that have a lot of sellers in it already. It, like I'm telling you, 99% of the time, you're not going to be able to just launch your product just like that, because launching it alone, trying to test different ad creatives, I probably spent at least $200. So you just have to really be able to have that mindset to test, and that's what I'm trying to tone down on. And that was one of my problems, was testing. And once you start testing, you get more sales. You start figuring out which works and what doesn't work, what audiences work, and yeah. So right now, my product is they already have the logo and stuff there. It's all manufactured already, and they're sending it over. So it'll be here within 5 to 6 or 7 days or so. And within that time, I'm gonna update you guys next Tuesday on another video on testing it, because I think by then I'll have different ad creatives and stuff filmed with it. So then I'll be able to let you guys know how it's doing and what I'm doing next. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about Facebook ads or um, just anything in general in this video, websites and stuff, what I'm doing, uh, just let me know. But yeah, the name of the game is testing, guys. Test, broad interests, lookalike audiences, as many ad creatives as you can, um, and like I said, test, 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 test. If you do not test, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to test a couple things, be like, oh, this doesn't work. I spent, all my money. moving on to the next thing, and that's the big mistake. We want to focus on one product here, guys. If you know a product works, you see other sites selling it, you see the ad all the time on Facebook, and you know that a lot of people are selling it, dude, just go for it. Be very original with it. Be creative, and don't be afraid to lose money to testing, because that's the only way you're going to be able to make it work. So with all that being said, guys, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you like and comment. Please let me know on what you guys want to see next. But next video will be next Tuesday. By then I'll have all the I think I'll have all the creatives and stuff filmed by then. So then I will let you guys know on what I'm doing, and we'll see what's going to happen next. So I will see you.